Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Conway, South Carolina, visiting Conway Ford, and I'm checking out a 2019 Ford Ranger Super Crew four-wheel drive in the Lariat trim level. Now this one has a few upgrades, which we'll look at the window sticker later on, but let's go ahead and check it out. This Ranger is sitting on 265/60 Hankook tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels with no plastic cladding or anything like that. This is a polished alloy wheel with a clear coat apparently. It's nice and shiny, looks like a chrome wheel. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is White Platinum Tri-Coat, which is a $600 upgrade to have this pearl coat color, which really makes a difference. So when the sun is shining a little bit better, you can see just that it's completely different from a standard white. Very impressive, even from a distance. Okay, so here in the front you have some chrome, and you'll notice that the grille is very similar to the F-150, and it has metal bumpers. Now it does have some plastic portions down here, but have that traditional chrome look on the truck, which I think looks pretty nice. It does have parking sensors around the front and the back. Now this one has the adaptive cruise control upgrade, and you can see these sensors mounted right in here, kind of hidden fairly well. You also have some chrome tow hooks protruding out here. So the headlights are in black, shiny, gloss black bezels. And they're powered by LEDs and a projector housing for your low and your high beams, with daytime running light LEDs around the outer portion. And the fog lights also are in a focused beam, powered by LEDs. And just beside the fog light is some wheel well ventilation here. So it actually is functional. Air goes through into the wheel well from the front of the vehicle. In addition to the adaptive cruise control, it also has lane keep assist, and it uses this little camera on the back side of the rearview mirror to keep an eye on the road and make sure you stay in your lane. It'll actually turn the steering wheel slightly to keep you in your lane as well. So looking at the profile here, so one thing I want to note is this one has the chrome appearance package, which is an $800 upgrade. So you can see it has the chrome handles, chrome side mirror. The side steps there are also chrome in addition to the wheels. And you notice there was a lot of chrome in the front as well. So the around the wheel wells is body colored here. And the glass is solidified. You can see the privacy glass there in the back, but the pillars solidify that with a flat black. And the front glass, if you were to go ahead and tint those front windows, it would, make it all one big piece looking, keeping it from looking all choppy. Now the exhaust is fairly visible here on the passenger side with a chrome tip as well. Even the badging is surrounded by chrome with chrome letters. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system, and it's fairly light, even though it's kind of big. It feels fairly light. It has a physical key on the inside that you can take out by pushing that button in case you need it. But generally, you just keep this in your pocket and you can use the vehicle 100%. It has the lock and unlock buttons here, pretty traditional there. Also a remote start and a panic button. Let's go ahead and push that panic button. It's got a nice sharp horn. So walking out the vehicle, as long as you have the key with you, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, or whatever. As long as it's within a close proximity to the outside of the door, you can lock the doors by pushing this button. It's actually not a button. It looks like a button, but if you just put your finger on it, it senses your finger. Now, same thing with the inside of the handle. To unlock it, you simply put your hand on the inside of the handle. It senses your hand position there and unlocks the vehicle. And there's your physical key location here on the driver's side only. Now the proximity sensors, unlike a lot of other vehicles, are on all four doors. So I can lock and unlock the doors on all four doors. Typically this is usually on driver and passenger. The side mirrors have the blind spot indicators here, which will illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. It's the blind spot and rear cross traffic alert, and they show you there, but also they actually show you here on the taillights too. So it says blind spot radar. So I actually have a, just to show you right where the sensor is itself, they actually label it. Okay, so taking a look on the inside of the passenger side door, mostly black, but it does have the soft touch surfaces here and that match the seats. Now it bottoms out quite quickly, but it is soft to the touch. Has some stitching right in here as well. The rest of the door is a hard plastic. You have some pockets there at the bottom, including a bottle holder, and the handle passes through. It's easy to grab. Then you have this gloss plastic accent which carries over into the dash. There's a tweeter speaker. This has a 10 speaker B&O sound system. So you have one there and then one there at the base of the door. And you notice the handle here, the release handle, is flush with this accent, so it integrates really nice, and that continues, and basically is part of the design. When you close the door, it all blends together. So it has power, well, a split power seat. So you have the power adjustment with the power lumbar adjustment for your passenger side, but also it goes up and down, forward and back. It does all that, but the tilt is manual, so you do have to use the manual lever for that. Okay, so the seat is a leather trim seat, but you'll notice they put cloth here on the sides, right where it comes in contact with the hard plastics, because it's a little bit more supple, and hopefully it'll last a little bit longer. It doesn't dig into the leather and catch it, mess it up or anything. And it has Ranger embossed in the back seats and the back of the front seats. And these are 3-stage heated seats as well. So there's your legroom, lots of legroom. So even with the seat all the way back, I could actually fit in the back seat, which is interesting. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be made for smaller people, but anyways, so you can see the floor mat hooks in place. The floor mats are not installed yet. Glove compartment is lockable, and it's hard. It's a smooth plastic on the inside. Hard touch and soft touch there with the stitching and a French design there on the dash. And you notice it has a handle getting in and out of the vehicle, kind of helps out with this passenger shotgun seat is the only one that has that handle apparently. Okay, so moving to the back here, you see the door swings out. It swings out wide. I think it could swing out a little bit wider and make it a little bit easier getting in and out of the back seat. But looking at the front, the inside of the front door is basically the back door is the same style. They just kind of scrunch it up. So it looks like a scrunched up front door. Like they just kind of scaled it down. And it has the same soft touch surfaces here only, and the pocket there at the bottom. Okay, so the back seat, like I said, I have the front seat, the driver's seat, all the way back. I don't have it tilted all the way back, but I was able to get back there and kind of sit there comfortably. The front and back seats are very, very comfortable. The cushion, you can tell it doesn't bottom out. I couldn't feel the bottom at all. So very impressed with the comfort of the seats for sure. Okay, so the back of both of the back of the front seats here have this pocket, so you can put some stuff. You have armrests with cup holders. Now, what's interesting about this is when you lift it up, it snaps in there. This strap actually releases it, so you try to grab it, it's locked in place. You actually have to pull that strap to release it, so that way if you slam on the brakes or whatever, it doesn't come flopping down or whatever. So that's pretty neat. Now the headrests, you can fold those down to add to your visibility when you don't have any passengers back here, or if you have a car seat or whatever. 2 USB power supplies here, and a 110 volt power supply, 150 watts. So not a lot of watts. You're not going to be powering a toaster or anything like that. You're not going to be powering anything above 150 watts. Okay, so there's a little hump there in the center portion. Also, you can't run a hair dryer. So if you're thinking about doing your hair on the way to work or something like that, that's not going to power it. I know what you're thinking. Okay, so there's the dome light. And the handles, there's handles here on the back. They have little hooks in them as well, so you can hang your clothes. Now these seats fold down. Now this one has a latch right here to pull down the seat. And you can fold these down and make it go down a little bit further. But the only thing back here is the jack, the funnel, and I'll tell you what the funnel's for soon. A weird looking subwoofer, which looks like it has like a 6-inch speaker there, and then an amplifier behind the seat here. Manually sliding glass as well, so if you need to open it up, you have to do it manually. Now these seats lift up and they lock as well. So what you'll have to do is pull a strap up here in the front. There's a strap right here, you just pull it out and it releases the seat. Then it'll lock in place once you get up to a certain point. And then here's your additional cargo space underneath the seat. And there's more tools to lower your spare tire there as well. So now you can see that hump in the center and the floor space a little bit better. Also, it has this hole right here, and there's like empty space in there. So I'm like, I want to utilize that space somehow. I wonder what's in there. I don't know, it's hard to tell. But anyways, it looks like there's some empty space, and it's teasing me like there's a secret compartment that I don't know about in here. So the back seats do have the latch system for car seats. And overall, this is if you're actually going to use the back seats, definitely want to get the Super Crew, because this is a very functional back seat. For a vehicle this size, those back seats seem pretty good. Okay, so moving around here to the back. Now this is a Ford Ranger, and how I can tell is because it says Ranger here on the taillight. But if I didn't notice that, then it actually says it here on the tailgate, nice and big. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so you'll notice some more chrome. The rear bumper, the handle for the tailgate, of course the Ford emblem with the backup camera in the very center position hidden under there, which is perfect place for a backup camera in my opinion. So there's the parking sensors across the back as well as the front. And you remember those tools to access the spare tire. There's a little place where you are to access, it's basically a long metal rod that goes in there to help lower the spare tire, which is located under here, which you probably saw that in the very first seconds of the video. Okay, so these have a high towing rating. This particular vehicle, I don't know the exact number, but they can tow up to 7,500 pounds, which is ridiculous. Like really surprising to me for a vehicle this size. Okay, so it has a manually locking tailgate, and it's light, very light. Just a very light tailgate. It's like an aluminum tailgate. It's not assisted. It's just really easy to raise and lower. So you don't want to just like drop it because it's not assisted. It's going to come slamming down, and that's not really cool. Okay, so this has a plastic bed liner, and it has tie downs. So you see these round spots here. They're kind of like rubber covers for the tie downs. You can see actually one of them's exposed here, so you can see what they look like. But right in here under that cover is a 12-volt power supply, and it's waterproof. It has like this spring cover, but it's 12 volt, just like a cigarette lighter type power supply. Okay, so the reason why I had the measuring tape out is because I don't trust the online specs on this. They say it's a 5-foot bed, but looking at it, it looks kind of small. So to the end of where you would actually close the tailgate, it's more like 4 foot 9 inches. Okay, now 5 feet actually comes out here to the center of the tailgate if you were to close the tailgate, and then you start getting out here. Let me go ahead and extend this out a little bit. Okay, so to the end of the tailgate, if you have it open, is 7 feet. Now, part of the reason why this is the case is because this one has the bed liner, the plastic bed liner, which is taking up some of the space there in the front. So the height, let's see what the height looks like. So it looks about 21 inches. So that's very similar to a full-size truck, I think, if I remember correctly. Close to it anyway. So the taillights are actually powered by LEDs. Everything, even the turn signal. So that's nice. And so sometimes they'll have LED taillights, but then the turn signal will be standard bulbs. But this one doesn't have that issue. But what it does have is standard bulbs for the front turn signals. So the thing about LEDs and turn signals is usually the flashing on and off is done with the resistance of the bulb itself. So if you have just LEDs, then you have to have that resistance somewhere else. You have to have this separate module. So I guess it seems like they put standard bulbs either in the front or the back to avoid having that separate module, that separate component, and just using the bulb itself to have that resistance. Okay, so the fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it is capless. You remember that little funnel in the behind the back seat? This is the funnel is used in case you need to use a gas can. So that's what that's for. But it has a seal on the outside here, and this is a 2-stage fill. There's like two doors basically. So that way you have to have a certain length nozzle. But just normal gas nozzles, just put it in there, pump your gas, and you don't even have to think about it. Okay, so I have the key inside actually my pocket, but it can be in a bag or just sitting in the cup holder. As long as it's on the inside of the vehicle, you push the brake and hold it. Now when I push the brake, you'll notice a little light that turns on right here on the button. So we push the brake, hold it, and push the button to start it. And the button has like this concave feel to it, so that way you can, you know, your finger's not sliding off of it or whatever. It's just neat. Okay, so here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You notice the floor mat snaps in place in 2 places. So of course, the floor mat is not in place yet. There's the accelerator and brake pedal and the footrest. Real nice big footrest. It has a good angle to it and everything. Okay, so let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there is a latch. You can actually see it since it's bright yellow in there, hopefully. But it's a little bit to the left of center, so it's right in here. Just reach in, push it to the left really kind of hard until it releases. Then it doesn't take much energy to lift it up because it lifts itself up. You see it right there. That's how you move it. It kind of stops right here, and then you got to push a little bit harder to actually release the hood. So if you just push it not hard enough, it's not going to release. Okay, so look at this. You have a insulated, the under portion of the hood is insulated, but also look at all the seals around the outside here on the front, on the sides. So all the way across the front here is a seal, and then you have a seal right there directing the airflow, and here on the sides and across the back. So this helps out with airflow, noise, heat distribution, I guess you could say, which that's basically the same thing as airflow. Okay, so you have an insulated battery here. It's easy to get to as well. Insulated, completely insulated firewall. It's just completely covered there. Okay, so this truck is powered by a 2.3 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine. In other words, it's a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, direct injection. Now it pumps out 270 horsepower, but it has to get to 5,500 RPMs to get that peak horsepower. But this is really impressive to me, 310 pound-feet of torque at only 3,000 RPMs. So at that lower RPMs, you have a lot of torque. Now this is paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, so lots of gear ratios to choose from. And you can actually, this is a turbocharged engine that can actually run off of 87 octanes. You don't have to use the premium fuel to drive this truck. It does hold 18 gallons in the gas tank as well. To save weight, they use an aluminum engine block and head. Okay, so I think I like this. It's very quiet, and the reason why it's so quiet is it doesn't have electric fans starting and stopping and everything. It has actually, under this shroud right here, you can see a mechanical fan with a fan clutch there to the engine. So it's powered to the engine, and depending on, has a really big fan, doesn't make any noise, and it's connected to the engine, so the faster the engine, the faster the fan goes. So that's really nice to not have a loud fan constantly going on and off, on and off, on and off. It's nice and smooth and quiet. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. Yeah, there's the power windows. The driver's side is automatic, one touch down and one touch up. And also I want to point out this one has the laminated glass. So you have 2 panes of glass with an acoustic material on the inside. Try to keep the vibrations of sound out of the vehicle. Now it is laminated, so it's a little bit has a little bit more structure and integrity, so it's not going to be as easy to break. There's your door lock controls. And the power seats, just like the passenger side where you have a manual tilt, and then you have the power seat up, down, forward and back, and then the lumbar adjustment there. 3-stage heated seats. Here to the left of the steering column, you have your headlight controls here. So you have automatic, on, parking, and off. Fog lights are controlled here, and then you have your dimmer switch for your interior gauges and the cargo bed light in the back. It also has a tilt and telescoping steering column that locks in place here. The side mirrors are actually adjusted right here. So you just pick a side, left or right, and then you can adjust it with this little pad. Now they're power fold side mirrors, so you can push this button and fold them in. Push it again to fold them out. Okay, so sitting in the driver's seat checking it out. One thing this is what I was talking about. The integration between the door and the dash is nice with that accent, that gloss accent. But one thing that I noticed, I didn't actually have the seat all the way back when I got in the back seat, so I would have to compromise a little bit here in the front in order to get the extra room for me to fit back there. So there's a little bit less room than I thought in the back, but it's still not so bad. Okay, so I have the seat all the way back now and all the way down, and I'm 6 feet tall, just to give you an idea of the leg room here. Really like that footrest. It's a really good angle and width. It goes all the way up, so I can, sometimes vehicles will have like a footrest, but then they'll have something right above it to where you're kind of constrained. This one's like plenty of space here, up and down and everywhere. Love it. That's a big must for me. So you can see the leg room and all that stuff. And it doesn't feel, with the seat all the way down, it doesn't feel like you're sitting on the floor like some trucks. Okay, so this one has very soft to the touch. You can actually see it does bottom out, but it is soft to the touch. Leather wrapped steering wheel. Feels great. That softness is just easy on the hands. Usually don't have a steering wheel this soft. Okay, so here on the right side, you have your volume for your radio, voice recognition, there's a mute, and then you have your Bluetooth controls here. But also, they correspond to the radio here. So we can step through the radio stations right now because we're in the radio portion right now. But if we wanted to make a call, all we would have to do is use the voice recognition, or if there's a call coming in, we can answer it right here. So it's a dual function right here. So it's not just for the phone, it's for the radio as well. So these buttons here and here on the left side correspond with the dual screens here on the gauge cluster. We'll get to that in just a minute. Okay, so this is a cruise control, and it's adaptive cruise control. It's a little bit different, slightly different, I guess you could say, than other ones as far as the layout here. So you can turn the cruise control on, you can resume and cancel using the same button, and then you have the set. So you can set it with either one of these buttons, and then you have a negative and positive, so you can raise or lower the speed. Now this portion is for your adaptive cruise control, so it's going to, let's say you set it at 70 miles an hour, it's going to use the radar system to see if there's any vehicles in front of you. If there is and they're going slower than 70 miles an hour, it's going to slow you down to match their speed. Let's say they're going 60 miles an hour. You're going to slow down just automatically and keep you at a set distance between you and the vehicle in front of you going at 60 miles an hour, so that way you don't get close to them or hit them or anything like that, or it just makes it convenient so you don't have to use these buttons all the time to adjust your speed. Now the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you can be manually set using right here, so you can have a closer or further distance. So that's what these are for. All right, windshield wiper controls are here on the right side, and the turn signals are here on the left side with your headlight dimmer switch. You also have a button here on the end. When you push it, it's your lane keep assist, which you can turn on or off. The reason why I think they put it here is because if you don't put your turn signal on, when you're using the lane keep assist, it's gonna kind of fight against you a little bit. You can overpower it, of course, but it's there. But having the turn signal on, it will allow you to change lanes. But you can turn that off if you'd like to, kind of zip around more, be a little bit more zippy in traffic, I guess you can say. Okay, so here's your gauges. Should just say gauge because there's only really one physical gauge. That's the speedometer there in the center portion. On the right is your kind of like entertainment stuff, what's going on your screen. On the left is more about what your vehicle's, more information about your vehicle. Okay, so you have an odometer here, digital speedometer, fuel gauge. On the right side, there's more information. You have a clock, digital compass, outside temperature, and what's going on with your radio there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here on the right side. So we have these buttons here on the right side of the steering wheel, which correspond with this side, and then you have buttons on the left side which correspond with that side. Okay, so using the left arrow, it's going to go back out. So right now it's going into the entertainment. We go back out of that, and it takes us to kind of a list here. So we can scroll down, go into navigation. Now you notice the color changes, just to show you the different options there, so you can kind of quickly tell what option you're in depending on the color. Now in the past, with the previous sync systems, they would be color coded on the main menu screen, and you can quickly go to that, but this doesn't correspond with the Sync 3 anymore, that I can tell. Okay, so we saw the entertainment, so that shows you what's going on, like your radio, whatever your radio is doing or whatever. And you can change your different radio sources there. And let's go down to navigation. And now we have a digital compass there. Scrolling back. Let's go to phone. And then you'll see information about the phone, say caller ID, that kind of thing. Let's go back to the entertainment. Okay, so on the left side, same deal. You have the arrows there, and right now we have a digital speedometer, but let's go to the left. So now we have a list of stuff that we can have. Going to the right just takes us to the digital speedometer under display mode. Now if we hit OK, we can also go there as well. We can scroll down when we're in display mode and get more information, say tire pressure, average speed, distance to empty, and then you have a tachometer, RPMs, digitally represented here on the screen if you want that. we can change okay, so right now we just entered this. If I push down again, look right here where it shows the fuel gauge, scroll down, now it shows the fuel gauge and a temperature gauge. Now scrolling down again takes us back to the digital speedometer. So as you cycle through, you can get different information, different display. Scrolling to the left, we can go into our trip, fuel economy, driver assist. Okay, so let's go into that. Blind spot, cruise control, driver alert, trailer sway control, cross traffic alert. All these different things we can go in and turn on or off. You have a pre-collision warning system, lane keeping system, all that. Then you can go into your settings. So the trip, in addition to the miles traveled, we also have average miles per gallon and a timer. And you have 2 of them, and you can reset those independently. Let's go into the settings. So you have vehicle settings. You can actually see the seat belts, how many seat belts are secured. Remote start. Climate control, going to adjust the climate control, like say when you have the when you remote start it, you can have the seats, the heated seats turn on, or whatever you want there to kind of prep the vehicle for you. Alright, so let's go back here. That would be my default screen right there, would be the digital speedometer. But just kind of give you a rundown. You don't have to go into any of that. Typically you could just leave it on one screen and be done with it. It's just there in case you need it. Seems awfully complicated if you think you have to use it all the time, but it's not really a big deal. So you have this pocket here at the top, so you can put some stuff, quick access type stuff. Okay, so here's your touch screen, and the touch screen's easy to use. It has a clock, outside temperature, your interior temperatures that you have them set at. You have a home button up here, and this is actually the home screen. This is split between the navigation, the radio, and whatever else, other device that you have, like say your cell phone or whatever, paired to the system. And then I like the way they have the quick access heated seat controls here. It's a little redundant. There are some physical buttons below. I will get to that in just a second, but it does have those there. Okay, so across here at the bottom, you see these icons. So let's go to the audio, and you have presets there at the bottom. Nice, big, easy to read letters and stuff at a glance. You can see what's going on, and it's not overly complicated. So your climate control is here as well. You can set the temperature, where you want the air to blow, your fan speed, and then your passenger side temperature. You can pair phones here, so we can add a phone. You can pair, I think it's up to 6 phones, and they'll be set at the priority that you set them at. And then the navigation. Okay, so let's go ahead and pinch zoom our way out so we can see, get our bearings or whatever. We're in Conway, South Carolina. Now we're going way out there. We can see the ocean and everything. And of course we could put in a destination here. We can search, we can save addresses, we can have a home address, work. We could set up all kinds of different things. We can also look for food, fuel, hotels, ATMs, and all that stuff. I like the way that has previous destinations. So you put it in, and then you're like, hey, where was that place? And then it's right there. Okay, so the next one is apps. So this one has Apple CarPlay and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capable. You just have to plug the phone in. It'll pop up here on the screen. So you can add more mobile apps here. And then you have Travel Link, which is really nice. That actually finds the nearest gas station, the cheapest gas station, all kinds of different handy things that's handy when you're out of town. So I really like that. And then you go into your settings, your last icon. So you notice your icons are here at the bottom, and they always stay there no matter what screen you're in, so you can know where they're at, and then you can always go to the ones that you want. You can adjust the sound, clock, Bluetooth, all that stuff here. It even goes over here. Let's go to the ambient light. I'm gonna have to make a night video because this one has the ability to change the the color, but also the brightness of the ambient light. I gotta check that out. You can't see it during the day, so that's a nighttime type thing. So you gotta check out my channel for the night video if I make it. I don't know if I'll be able to make it yet, but that's what I want to do. But anyways, that's the kind of a quick rundown. You can see it has the icons here. The only one it doesn't have is the home button, which is up here. Okay, so your four-way flashers are here. And you have a traditional volume knob tuned through the stations, so it's just lower than the screen. And you have the, change through tracks and stations and all that stuff with the buttons. And your temperature. So remember I mentioned some of the buttons are redundant. You have the temperature here as well as the fan, driver and passenger, where you want the air to blow, air conditioning, and then you have the heated seat controls. So it's a 3-stage, high, medium, and low. So the two 12-volt power supplies, 2 USB ports. So this is where you use your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You put your device in here, and it's actually a rubber floor under here. It goes in there quite a ways. And then you have backlit illuminated USB ports for playing music through the sound system, or hooking up your cell phone for those Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So this has the stop-start feature, which will actually turn the engine off when you come to a complete stop. You can turn that feature on or off here. So, my preference is to leave it off. So this is tow mode. Your parking sensors you can turn on or off here. Same thing with the traction control. You can turn that off. Default will be on. So your four-wheel drive, it's really easy to change. You have a two-wheel drive high, four-wheel drive high, and four-wheel drive low. So you just have to turn the knob there. So your 10-speed automatic transmission is shifted here. You can actually set your high limit on your gear ratio right here, so you can up and down shift. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse, because this is very impressive, the backup camera. So in addition to the backup camera with the active guidelines as I turn the steering wheel, it also shows you the parking sensors. So if there's something back there, it's going to beep at you, letting you know something's back there, but also it'll give you an indicator here where they are in relationship to the vehicle. Also, you notice it's in the very center position, so if you're backing up to a trailer, your towing package will show up right here. So it's just perfectly lined up. And also the clarity and the brightness, everything about the backup camera is very impressive to me. When you push this plus, it zooms in right there where you back up to the trailer. So that kind of helps out, just to kind of fine tune it there at the last second. Continuing on, there's neutral, drive, and then you have a like a sport mode here, which will give you more performance over fuel economy. There's some cup holders. It has a rubber piece right here. I can't get it out right now, but it's supposed to pull out and you can clean it and put it back in. Handbrake, parking brakes, really easy to get to. So if you're doing any kind of off-roading or anything, this is handy to have access to, especially pushing the button in, and you can adjust it a little bit just to get the level of braking that you need into the rear wheels. Okay, so here is the armrest. Soft to the touch, but it bottoms out quickly. Not very big, but I guess you can share it with the passenger if you would like to. Has a place to clip a pen or a tire pressure gauge here. And then you have this compartment, and it's kind of hard to see because it's all black inside. There's a little pocket that fits up here, but it has a rubber bottom. But I wish that rubber bottom was like a brighter color, so you can actually see in there a little bit better. But it's just a plastic compartment. Hopefully you can see in there. And it doesn't appear, I guess you can put wires in and out of the front, but it's not really, it doesn't really have the ability to put wires in and out of it. And I guess there's no ports in there, so I guess they don't really need to have wires going in and out. Auto dim rear view mirror, and it's auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor, and the light sensor's over here. So you have some tap lights, look like they're powered by LEDs. And you can turn on all the lights there, or have them off, or in the center position they'll turn on with the door. Place to put some sunglasses, shades, safety glasses, or whatever. And there's a very soft felt on the inside as well. And then up here is like a rubber protection piece up here, I guess to keep them stabilized so they're not rattling around in there. Okay, so the visors have like a vinyl covering, it feels like. Have a little clip. Lights, mirrors. HomeLink garage door opener control is right here. And these extend out. Now I wonder, usually the visors, the power to the visors is on even when the vehicle's off. I wonder, I'll have to check it, but I wonder if these also power this, because that might be a safety issue if these are still powered. I'll have to check on that a little bit later on and make sure that I do a thorough job. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. Okay, so the headrests are in the way now, but you can fold them down. Remember, those are, you can fold them down out of the way. You can fold the whole seat down if you like. But just gonna give you an idea of what the visibility looks like. Not bad overall, I think. Nice big side mirrors as well. And that's, truck people usually use the side mirrors, probably because they have stuff in the back of the truck. Okay, so there you have it. I'm going to show the window sticker at the end of this video, and also some additional information at the end, so you can keep on watching if you'd like. And thank you for watching. Thank you to Conway Ford. They just got this truck in. I really appreciate them allowing me to check out this truck. And so I'm going to have their website and contact information in the description so you can check out their website. Also a link to the window sticker. So the actual PDF version of the window sticker should be in the description as well. It doesn't last forever. Eventually the link will expire, but in the beginning of this video you'll be able to see it. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.